Hey guys, back again with what I promise will be my last video of the weekend. Um, so this is in response to Dan in Canada's thread, 15 covers that outdo the originals. I did my best to pick out at least 15, give or take a few. I might have 16, but this was kind of hard because there were so many songs where I like both versions and it's hard to pick which one. Also, there are some instances where I've heard the cover, but I haven't heard the original. And usually it's a traditional song that, old folk song or something that I haven't really heard the original. But I could probably say with certainty that I'd like the cover more. So let's get to it. First off, the Ramones, Needles and Pins. This is a song that was written by Sonny Bono and Jack Nitzsche, who worked with Neil Young a lot early in his career and again later on. I can't think of who recorded it first. I think 60s girl group. I'm sure somebody knows. You could fill me in. But I have heard it, and I could definitely say I like the Ramones version better. I just like obviously their energy and what they bring to the table. It's just awesome. So they do a number of good covers, I think, the Ramones. But yeah, there's the first one. This one, I don't know, might be a little surprising, but Guns N' Roses version of Mamakin, which I like a lot better than Aerosmith's. I love Aerosmith's, don't get me wrong, but I just like Guns N' Roses version. I think it's live on here, and it's just awesome. I've looked through this album too, and I don't see any credit to Aerosmith on it. I could be wrong. Maybe Aerosmith didn't write it, but I think they did. Anyway, great cover. Guns N' Roses doing Mamakin. Now this one, early in Bob Dylan's career, he did a lot of covers. It's just kind of where he got his sound from, just doing covers of different people, and he's obviously incorporated a lot of older folk songs into his songwriting. But Bob Dylan's version on Bob Dylan, his first record, of House of the Rising Sun. Now I think it's more of a traditional song, and they may not have a songwriter, but everybody knows the Animals version, I believe, of House of the Rising Sun. And I love that version. I love it. Also, Dave Van Ronk, folk singer, does it too, which is where Dylan got it. But I gotta say, there's something about Dylan's version for me that's just, he just sounds in pain. He sounds like, whereas in the Animals version, it's like they're singing it and everything, and it's a great song, but Dylan just has, like, you can hear, like, the anguish in his voice, and I just love his version a lot better. So, there you go. House of the Rising Sun, Bob Dylan. This one. Now, Mr. Hall of Fame, I have to apologize, but I have given Kiss a chance a number of times. I have a bunch of friends that love Kiss, swear by them. I actually saw Kiss when they first had that reunion years ago now, maybe almost 10 years ago now, where they, with Peter Criss and Ace Frehley, with the makeup, and I saw the show. And I got into it. I actually had my face painted like Gene Simmons and everything. And they put on a hell of a show. And I do like a few of their tunes, but overall, I have a hard time with them. I've given them a chance, but anyway, I might get a little flack for this. But the Replacements, their version of Black Diamond on their album, great album, by the way, I've pointed it out before, Let It Be. Their version of Black Diamond, I just like so much better than the original. So check that out if you haven't heard it. Again, the Replacements. Paul Westerberg, who's like the singer, main songwriter of the Replacements. I think he wrote all the songs pretty much. He had some hits in the 90s. They were a big influence on the grunge movement in the 90s scene. But check it out. The Replacements, Let It Be. Great album. One of my favorites. Dan, I definitely have to agree with you on Neil's version of Don Gibson's "Oh Lonesome Me." What a great version. I've heard the original, and it just sounds like an old traditional country song. But the way Neil does it with Crazy Horse and Danny Whitten on it, it's just unbelievable. I think Nils Lofgren plays on it too. But it is just unbelievable. Just the emotion of it. It's just it's heart-wrenching. It's just a fantastic version. And he's totally taken it and made it his own. It's like one of his hits, you know. But definitely good pick there. I gotta agree with you. Also, Creedence Clearwater's version of Suzie Q. I can't think off the top of my head who it's by originally. I'm sure one of those blues guys. But anyway, I have heard an original version of it, and I love Creedence's version of it. I love that long jam, that trippy long thing, and then, you know, it's awesome. You know, it's an 8-minute song, and they really took it and made it their own. They've done that obviously a number of times with older songs, but yeah, I love that version of Suzie Q. Here's a cliched one I think everybody mentioned, but generally with Dylan, I prefer Dylan's version over any cover. One thing I gotta disagree with Dan is the Byrds version of Mr. Tambourine Man. I don't think holds a candle to Dylan's, but that's just personal preference. But Jimi Hendrix, in the one case when Jimi Hendrix covers All Along the Watchtower, it is just fantastic. I don't know, it's just probably one of the greatest covers of all time. Just, he really took it and he made it his song. I mean, it's just phenomenal. That's one song it's played a lot on the radio and I've never gotten sick of it. This is the Electric Ladyland with all the naked women on it. Jimmy actually hated this cover, but I think it's alright. Here's a case where I don't think I've heard the original, but I could pretty say with certainty that Black Sabbath's version of Evil Woman is just fantastic. I don't know if I've heard the original. I don't know who wrote it. It's credited to, looks like some German composers, but I won't even try saying their names. But anyway, their version of Evil Woman is just fantastic. I bought this when this came out, the reissue. I had the CD, and for some reason the CD didn't have Evil Woman. So when I got this, I was psyched because that song is just awesome. If you've ever heard it, it's like one of the best tracks on here, really. So check it out. And Van Halen's version of Where Have All the Good Times Gone. I love the Kinks version, but I gotta say Van Halen just really blew it out of the water with that one. It's just such a phenomenal song, and they just did such a great job with it, so I definitely prefer Van Halen's version on Diver Down. But there you go. Now this next one, I have heard the original, and it's different. It's by German composer Kurt Weill, W-E-I-L-L. I don't know how you say that. But the Doors version of Alabama Song, Whiskey Song, this is fantastic. I mean, really, this is a Doors song now, you know? Everybody knows it. Alabama Song, Whiskey Bar. That's it. And they took it and really made it their own. They actually took out a verse in it as well. But fantastic version of it. One of the best. Maybe the only one. The only cover of it. Again here, Jimi Hendrix, Hey Joe. Now when you think of Hey Joe, that's a Hendrix staple right there. And it's a cover. I know he got it from the Leaves. I think other people have done it too. I don't know who wrote it. I think the Leaves might have done it originally, or it might have been a take on an older song. But yeah, Hendrix version of Hey Joe is just, it's his song again. He took it and it's his, you know. So, another one, Joni Mitchell wrote Woodstock. She wasn't able to make it. I forget what happened. She missed the helicopter or something, but she wasn't able to get to Woodstock, but she wrote a song, Woodstock, and she actually said that had she actually made it to Woodstock, she probably wouldn't have written the song. And I love her version of it. It's fantastic, but I do got to go with Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young version of Woodstock. It's just awesome. Great take on it. And believe me, I love Joni Mitchell's version, but Crosby, Stills, Nash & Young do it best. Now this one I had a hard time with. Jane's Addiction on their first record do a little. At the end, they do a few covers. They do Rock and Roll and Sympathy for the Devil. I'm on the fence on it, but I kind of feel like I like Jane's Addiction's version of Rock and Roll better than Lou Reed's, and that's really touchy because I love Lou Reed. I love that version of it. But something about how they do it and how they do Rock and Roll, I mean, Sympathy for the Devil too is just really neat. I definitely prefer the Stones over Jane's version, but their version of Rock and Roll is just fantastic. This is their first album on Triple X Records. It's Jane's Addiction. It's referred to as Triple X Records. And this is an original. This is one piece. I don't know how common it is, but that I'm really proud of. Glad I got an original. But there you go. Well, this one as well, Nirvana doing Where Did You Sleep Last Night, or Lead Belly's In the Pines. I've heard Lead Belly's version, and Lead Belly was just fantastic, but Nirvana's version of this on Unplugged is just unbelievable. It really is. It's like a career-defining thing for Kurt Cobain and Nirvana. Just that scream it's not a scream, but his singing, he's just it just rips the soul out of you. It really does. It's just unbelievable, and they've really taken that and just made it their own. So there's a number of good versions on here, the Meat Puppets and the Vaselines and things like that. But Where Did You Sleep Last Night, or In the Pines by Lead Belly, Nirvana just made it their own, and it's just fantastic. And I love Lead Belly. He's just one of the greatest ever. And I also have to go with Janis Joplin's version of Kris Kristofferson's song Me and Bobby McGee. Miles above, I think, Kris Kristofferson's version. It's just, she does such a good job with it, I gotta say. And I know it's another cliched one, but I have to agree that she just really took that song and ran with it. A couple other mentions. Eric Clapton's version of Cocaine by J.J. Cale. That's an Eric Clapton song now. I mean, it's just fantastic. Johnny Cash's Hurt. Again, he just takes it and really makes it his own. You feel the pain in his voice. And, you know, Nine Inch Nails' version is fantastic as well. But I gotta say, Johnny Cash just did it better. Also, Whiskey in the Jar. I think it's a traditional Irish folk song. This is a tough one for me. I've heard a number of versions of it. Metallica does it so well, but also Thin Lizzy does it just awesome. So I want to say those two versions versus other versions I've heard of it are just phenomenal. I can't pick over which one I like best, because I love Thin Lizzy's version of it as well. And I think that's about it. I think that covers my list. Again, whether it was 15 or 16 or I'm not sure, but so there you go. Please, guys, tell me what you think. Let me know. And again, thanks for watching, and take care.